Do you sleep through your alarm clock? Maybe you'd like to get your wake-up call from one of these three young ladies. Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Brittany York.
Number 2.
My name is Brittany York.
Number 3.
My name is Brittany York.
Only one of these people is the real Brittany York, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Actor and raconteur, Orson Dean. Actress and cartoon voice, Dana Hill. Co-star of Murder, She Wrote, Ron Masak. And to tell the truth's very own, Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to our show. Obviously, this is turning into a week of beautiful people here on To Tell the Truth.
Thank you, Alex.
And in that regard, you're welcome, Ron. I would like to take a moment right now to tell our viewers how you could wind up getting a fabulous dinner date with one of these handsome hunks from NBC's daytime soaps. Just get a pen and pencil ready, and I'll be telling you about that in a little while. Right now, let's get to our first story, and I will read the affidavit. I, Brittany York, am a playmate and the most popular voice on Playboy's 900 paper call service. One of our service calls is our Wake Mate service. I'll give you the time, suggest you get out of bed and start perking that coffee. Remember, your boss is waiting. On our Rate Your Mate service call, I'll give you a few tips on how to keep your mate. Then from 6 to 8 p.m., I take live phone calls. And would you like to know my most often asked question? Wrong. It's, Brittany, how's the weather where you are? 900 numbers are very profitable, but some are very unscrupulous. If a caller is being charged by the minute, a slow talker on the other end can send your bills sky high. So if you call me, sometimes if you stay on the line too long, I'll remind you that it will cost you $2 a minute. Signed, Brittany York. We'll get to find out more about this 900 number right after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, panel, these three lovely ladies all claim to be Brittany York, playmate and wake mate. Kitty, start the questioning, please.
Oh, my goodness. What kind of a channel, number one, do you find this on?
Well, this is a phone service.
Yeah,
so...
but Playboy channel, where is it?
No, it's a wake-up call service.
But number two, how do you get it?
The phone service or the cable television are we talking about now?
Is it a cable television service?
Playboy has both.
Oh, they have both. I see. And number three, when you wake them up, do you tell them it's time? Do you kind of urge them to get up? And
That's right. I do it in a nice, sultry way, too.
Number two, were you a Playboy?
Ooh, let's go to Ron.
Playmate.
I'll continue, though. Was that number 2 you were asking? Number 2, were you a centerfold?
Yes, I was.
And what month was that? What year?
October 1990.
Number 3, does Hefner have anything to do with this?
Yes, he does.
And do you do that? Number 1, do you do this from the mansion?
No, we do it in a sound studio.
In a sound studio. Number 2, did Hefner set it up or his daughter now?
His daughter does the business end, and Hefner still does the photography end, and also the telephone end, I believe.
And the telephone.
Dana.
Number one, how many calls a day do you field?
Well, see, you have to be a lucky caller to actually speak to me. And I will be waiting at my home 2 to 4 times a month, waiting for phone calls, and they patch through kind of a lucky caller.
Okay, and number two, I'm confused. It says you do wake-up calls, but then from 6 to 8 p.m. you do it live. So, like, are you working all day on this phone service? How do you do that?
Most of them are recording, so I guess you go in the studio and do your recordings, and then from 6 to 8 you have your live calls.
Gotcha. Number three, how do you keep your mate? What are some of the tips that you give the people that call in keeping your mate?
Well, you try to be honest with them and communicate as best you can, and try to plan special times to be together is one of our tips that we give them. These are all pre-recorded. They give us nice tips, and we just read them off.
Okay.
All right, Orson.
Well, I just am astonished at this pulchritude. You certainly are beautiful. God, if I wasn't gay. Number 2, what other services do you have on 900 numbers?
It's like a questionnaire as to how you rate as a mate with one of the playmates.
All right.
They have a...
All right, that's enough. Number 3, have you ever been to the mansion, the Playboy Mansion?
Yes, I have.
Number 1, have you?
Yes.
I went swimming in there. What might have been swimming with me?
Well...
Not bunnies. I mean, what other...
Well, there might be a little few fishies.
Fishies?
Maybe.
All
All
right.
right, time's up. I love the questioning and Orson's self-promotion. Our panelists now have to vote for the wake mate. Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Our challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000, and if our panel is fooled completely, the team will receive $3,000. Kitty, for whom did you vote?
I voted for the lady who says that she was a centerfold playmate.
Playmate. October 1990, but who was paying attention? Ron.
Well, number 1 fooled me a little bit because she had that wonderful telephone voice, you know, that sexy voice. And number 3 kept nodding at everything that both of them said, like, gee, yeah, that's true, that's right. Number 2 knew that that Hef's daughter took over the business end of it, and then confused me when he said that he was still involved with the photography end of it. He doesn't take the pictures, he just looks them over. I think that's what she meant. I went with number 2.
I see. Dana, you're perplexed.
No, I'm just Ron, you know. He tells everything and tells it all so well, so I agree 100%.
He leaves nothing for you.
Nothing for me, but
We
that's
have
okay.
3 votes for number 2 so far, Orson.
They're all wonderful and beautiful, but I voted for number 2 as well. I don't know why.
Well, these ladies are all besides themselves with laughter now. No votes for number 1, 4 votes for number 2, and no votes for number 3. So let's find out who really wakes you up. Will the real Brittany York please stand up? It is number 2. They spotted her immediately. How about that? Brittany, if I were one of those lucky callers who managed to get patched through to your personal telephone, what would you say to me?
Well, if I was to give you a wake-up call, I might say something like, good morning, this is Brittany. It's time to get up. I know you must be nice and cozy under those covers, but birds are singing and it's going to be a good day.
And while you're saying all of this, my wife would be saying, you two-timing son of a gun. Well, it sounds very enticing. Let's meet our imposters now. Number 1, who are you?
My name is Catherine Armstrong, and I'm the managing director of a paintball field in Malibu, California.
Hey, how about that? And number 3, with that warm, sultry voice also. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Crystal Bradley, and I'm Valentina the Mouse, the tap-dancing, juggling mouse for a pizza company called Valentino's.
How about that? Well, Brittany got all the votes, and that means the team will have to be content with the $1,000 guarantee, and we thank you for gracing our program today with your beauty. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
We'll be back with a young lady who has sold over 60,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies right after this. Now, let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Marquita Andrews.
Number 2.
My name is Marquita Andrews.
Number 3.
My name is Marquita Andrews.
Well, it's up to our panel to locate the real Marquita Andrews. This will help you. I, Marquita Andrews, am known as the Cookie Kid. As a Girl Scout, I sold a record 60,000 boxes of cookies. My first year in the program, I sold 650 boxes. At age 13, I achieved a personal best by moving out over 11,000 boxes. I've been featured in newspapers, magazines, even on the David Letterman Show. And Walt Disney Studios even made an 11-minute sales training movie about me. 2 of my most famous customers have been George Bush and Big Bird from Sesame Street. My secrets of selling are now in my new book, How to Sell More: Cookies, Condos, Cadillacs, Computers, and Everything Else. Signed, Marquita Andrews. We have a budding young entrepreneur here. Orson, we'll start the questioning with you.
I'll say, well, I love Girl Scout cookies. I buy them every year. Number 3, what do cookies and Cadillacs have in common? in terms of selling?
Well, it's the way you approach your customers. For example, you always have to persevere in both, whether selling cookies or Cadillacs, and you have to follow up on your sales, and you have to be courteous and polite, and you have to always set goals for yourself. And
Number one, now, if you had like one or two rules out of the book, what would they be?
Well, my famous one is don't be an ostrich, which is, I say, don't put your head in the sand, and don't be afraid to go out and meet people and strive to do your goal.
Number two, what else?
Oh, let's go to Dana.
Number 2, what troop number were you in?
I was in troop 330.
Okay, number 3, how many patches had you gotten over the years as a Girl Scout?
over 100.
Number 1, how old do you have to be a Girl Scout?
Well, 6 years old is the starting for a brownie.
Okay, and what's under a Girl Scout? There are 2 other groups under Girl Scouts. What are they?
There's the brownie and the daisy.
Okay, and number 2?
Oh. Ron?
Number 3, what's the best selling Girl Scout cookie?
Thin Mints are the #1 sell.
Thin Mint. Number 2, the Boy Scouts say be prepared. What do the Girl Scouts say?
Well, we have a promise and a law, and there are many different ideas that we have.
Number 1, tell me about selling George Bush.
I sold him cookies at a Republican state dinner, and I offered to give it to him, but he bought them for me.
And number 2, tell me...
Good for him. Let's go to Kitty.
Number 1, how long did it take you to sell 1,000 boxes of cookies?
3 weeks.
My goodness. Number 2, how much did George Bush give you?
At that time, the cookies were $2 a box, and he bought 2 boxes. So.
Number 3, were you coached at home in selling techniques, or did you just develop your own?
I was coached by my aunt, and I developed my own techniques. And
Thank you. Number 1, are you selling condos now and Cadillacs?
No, I'm still selling cookies.
How old are you?
20.
All righty, time's up. Time for you to vote for the young lady you feel is the real record-setting cookie salesperson. Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? Orson, for whom did you vote?
Well, I ate up all my Thin Mint cookies, so if you really are selling cookies, I'll buy some more from you. I voted for number 2.
All right, Dana.
They were all wonderful. I went with number 1 because she knew daisies, and my nieces are daisies and brownies, so I thought she knows.
Gee, I didn't know about that. Listen, I went with number 3 simply because she didn't know about the daisies. No, I voted for her because she said Thin Mint, and I figured the liar would say chocolate chip.
See, I'd go for the chocolate with coconut in them. Kitty?
Well, I have a terrible feeling that we met ages ago when Marquita was much younger, but already was a champion cookie salesman. So I think, in all fairness, I should disqualify myself.
I see. All right. Well, let's review the voting then. We have 1 vote for number 1, 1 for number 2, and 1 for number 3, with 1 disqualification. And that means good news for our challengers. Now, let's find out who the real champion cookie seller is. Will the real Marquita Andrews please stand up? No one is Marquita. It is number 2. We'll get back to you in just a few moments. Let's find out who the imposters are. Number 1, tell us about yourself.
My name is Raquel Stevens, and I'm a grade school teacher in Southern California.
Grade school teacher. All right. Number 3, very impressive. You got a vote also. Who are you?
I'm Violetta Volovnikov, and I grew up in the Soviet Union where there are no Girl Scouts, and I'm a student, a pre-law student at UCLA.
I see. And no cookies in the Soviet Union, says Orson. Well, there were 3 incorrect votes at $500 a vote, and that means the team will receive $1,500. Now, Marquita, you have brought along some photographs for us. Let's take a look at those, and perhaps you could comment as we watch. Wow.
Okay, this picture was taken when I was 11 years old, and it was, I was interviewed by the Associated Press, and it was sent all along the wire, so it appeared in newspapers.
How many boxes did you sell that year?
Over 2,000 boxes. It was, I believe, 2,245 boxes.
Whoa, and the other photograph? Well, this is self-explanatory, obviously.
This is the time when I sold Girl Scout cookies to then Vice President and Mrs. Bush.
Now that he's president, he'd probably spring for 3 or 4 boxes. I betcha. Well, it was a delight having the 3 of you with us on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience right after this. One-on-one time as we give another member of our studio audience an opportunity to win some money. Who is it today, Burton?
Today, Alex, it is Bev Meinhardt from Walnut, California.
Hello, Bev.
Hi, Alex.
Welcome to Southern California, and good luck in this one-on-one segment. Let me introduce a gentleman who has 2 stories to tell. Folks, please welcome Bruce Peterson. Bev, only one of the stories Bruce is about to tell us is the truth. You spot the true story and you'll earn $500 in cash. Bruce, what's your first story, please?
I can make a very funny face. I just won the North American Funny Face Contest.
May or may not be the truth. Let's listen to story number 2. Bruce?
I raised snails. My snail won the International Snail Festival.
To help you out, Bev, each of our panelists gets to ask 1 question. Let's start with a funny face story. Kitty?
Do you make funny faces professionally or non-professionally?
Oh, no, not professionally, just in this contest.
Ron?
Now, is this the first step of a contest that goes on to international fame?
No.
This is it.
Dana?
How much did you win for having the very funny face?
$432, a lot of pickles, and a little statuette of a nose.
Orson?
Charlie Callis makes the funniest faces I know. What comedian makes you laugh with his faces?
Oh, I laugh at lots of them. Steve Martin's very funny.
All right, that's a good man to laugh at. Now let's get to story number 2. The Snails, champion snail racer. Kitty?
Where do you race them? Like Calaveras County frog races or what?
They had a snail festival over here in Industry, California.
Ron?
I had a pet snail, Alex, but our teamster stepped on it because it followed him all day. How fast does a snail go?
Faster than you think, but not fast.
Dana?
How long was the race? What distance does a snail have to cover?
About like that.
Okay.
Orson?
Snails make love for 2 hours at a time. I think God threw that in to sweeten the deal so we would have snails. Otherwise, who would want to be a snail otherwise?
Didn't he also make them hermaphroditic?
He did. So they...
They don't care.
No, they go off holding their own hand and you never see them again.
Ask a question.
How long a swath do your snails leave?
How long a swath?
A swath.
I think what he's asking is, what kind of a slimy trail does your snail leave?
From where they start to where they stop, you know. It's just,
Thank you. All right, Bev, you've heard the cross-examination. You tell us, is Bruce the one who makes funny faces, or does he race snails?
He seemed really proud when he was talking about the snails, so I'll have to say that he's the snail racer.
All righty. Bruce Peterson, what is your true story?
To tell the truth, I race snails.
Yes, there it goes. Bev, congratulations. That's $500 in cash for you. And Bruce, let's see these snails. Now, when you responded to one of the questions and when asked how far the snails have to race, you went up and down, so obviously they race up a pole.
They do.
Now, I want the guy who's going to be closest to me, right?
Well, I had 2, but now...
You had 2? There's a snail loose in the studio. My snail. Oh, here he is.
I told you how fast they were.
Now, wait a minute. You got to tempt him with lettuce or something?
That's right.
Okay, how far ahead? Come on. Come on. Mine's already on its way.
Yeah.
Hard to keep track of them, isn't it, folks? They're moving so quickly. Right down where they can...
Really...
Come on.
Get interested.
We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll see how well my snail does. Obviously, class will tell. My guy won the race. Look at, he's already at the top of the pole, and he's feasting on the lettuce. We'll say goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, and Burton will tell you all about the rules for that fabulous win a dinner date with your favorite soap opera star. We'll see you tomorrow.
Everyone has something to hide.
I moonlight as a mud wrestler.
But on the new game show, I've Got a Secret.
Do you have more of something than you should have?
Nothing stays hidden for long.
Yeah.
I've Got a Secret, the most revealing game show on television.
I slept with him. I don't remember it.
Tonight at 11:30, only on GSN.
GSN.
The network for games.